I was just sitting in my living room one time. I could just remember sitting there, and like it was on TV, and something like in my mind like clicked, where it was like, oh, I feel like I want to do this. Like I feel like I can do this. Like all the flips that they were doing on TV, all the moves they were doing, I was like, I can do this. Like,
I think if you get into wrestling, you know, I mean, the talent pool in the UK at the minute is so big, and there's some brilliant, absolutely brilliant wrestlers. I think like if you get into it, you want to strive to be good and you want to keep up with everyone.
Now just seeing everyone, as you say, it's the forefront. Everyone wants to be involved with wrestling. It's just amazing to see the rise and how everyone wants to be involved and all the fans are interested.
WWE's WrestleMania. It is every professional wrestler's dream to perform in front of capacity crowds in giant stadiums across the world. However, making the WWE is not the only place to become a professional wrestling superstar. British wrestling is an industry which over the past few years has been growing and is beginning to take the nation and the world by storm. Wolverhampton-based Fight Club Pro is one of the many British wrestling promotions putting on shows to sell out crowds in venues across the country. Inspired by what goes on in WWE, and with a number of different promotions now available in the UK, young wrestlers are now being given the chance to showcase their talents inside the ring in front of huge crowds.
about the time after I persuaded my mom to like let me watch Raw and like SmackDown on Sky Sports and stuff, so like it would be like I was just sitting in my living room one time. I could just remember sitting there, and like it was on TV, and something like in my mind like clicked, where it was like, oh, I feel like I want to do this. Like I feel like I can do this. Like all the flips that they were doing on TV, all the moves they were doing, I was like, I can do this. Like, let's give it a go. And then from there, I just went like searching on Google for like different training schools, and I couldn't really find any to begin with because it was a bit like, it's one of those like weird things that you don't really search for because like no one's like, you want to find wrestling school? Like, yeah, what? But yeah, I did find one, and it was in Dudley, and that's where it first started.
The journey to becoming a professional wrestler starts at training, and inside a small industrial unit in Dudley Port, Fight Club Pro's training school is teaching the next generation of wrestlers everything there is to know between the ropes. However, starting out as a professional wrestler can be a brutal and physical journey.
So I always remember the first session I went to. I think the first thing we did was we all gathered around and we just started doing just squats, like simple thing like squats. And then I just remember after, you know, we passed 100 squats or whatnot, my legs just went to complete jelly, and I remember the next week just being agony. I mean, like, I know it sounds pathetic, but even just getting up and down the stairs was just like, I was just, what am I doing?
One of the hardest things you'll ever do when you first start training is running the ropes, because they hurt. Like the first time you're hitting the ropes, they hurt. They'll leave like marks all over your back. Like bumping takes a bit of getting used to. Like, but I just enjoyed doing all the moves. Like everything I'd seen on TV, I'd go to training and try it, and then like from there, and because I was fortunate enough to like have a ring. Like some training schools don't have rings to like begin with, so like it's kind of hard to like work your way around the ring and get to know how it is inside of the ring.
Once wrestlers in training have got enough experience under their belts, they are then given the chance to shine in the ring. And now with British wrestlers such as Pete Dunne beginning to make a name for themselves in the WWE, it has made up-and-coming wrestlers believe that anything is possible.
Everyone's aspiring to be there, but I'm feeling like because of the exposure we're getting now, like the country and the scene we have at the moment, like it's, yeah, the sky's the limit for us. I guess like loads of British people are like working their best and trying their hardest to try and get noticed or try and get these opportunities and try to get seen. And yeah, I think it's just motivated everyone in British wrestling overall to like continue upping their game and continue to show that we can hang with like the rest of the world pretty much and what we do.
You know, the real possibility that, you know, eyes are looking over at this scene and people are watching, and, you know, just if I can make every match count and if I can, you know, bring something to the table every match and, you know, like I say, gradually improve, that would be something that could only dream of moving on to.
With the rise of British talent, the media are now beginning to take notice of the rise of professional wrestling in this country. I believe it's the product which makes this industry stand out.
So much variety going on. You've got Rev Pro, Progress, ICW, Fight Club Pro, even OTT in Ireland. They're all putting out like unique but really, really good stuff. And then there's just an influx of performers. You've got like Marty Skrull, Will Ospreay, Sabre Jr. They're all killing it in New Japan. Then also you've got the WWE UK guys, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, Wolfgang. It's just, and there's an interest in it as well, because it's not your typical. When I was sort of getting back into wrestling, I thought the British stuff would be like your campsite, your Butlins, but it's anything but that, because there's so much talent, the matches they're having, the product. It's just great stuff, and everyone's really digging it. And I think you can just relate to a lot of the people. Obviously, they're incredible athletes, but at the same time, they are very, for the most part, very British people. So you've got people like Ospreay, Sabre Jr. They are, very, very British, and as well as them being like out of this world in the ring, with their entrances and their presence and everything, I think you can really sort of buy into them, if you like.
Promoters such as Fight Club Pros Martin Zaki and Kamikaze Pros Carl Robinson, they're always looking for ways to make professional wrestling in Britain bigger, and believes it is down to taking a chance when it comes to filling the bigger venues.
It's still continuing going to grow, but there's going to be a point. I feel bad in saying it's going to get too big that it can't expand any further. So, like, obviously at the moment we've got Progress. They're going to head to Wembley Stadium, but Wembley Arena, Wembley Arena, and it's the case that wondering how they're going to fill that out. If they fill that out, then other promotions and ICW have filled out the Hydro. So it's just testing the waters and all that.
With the talent we've got, I think the best bet is for WWE to be doing their weekly show, and that's the one. If you're going to get to the arena level, I think it is that WWE tag on it, I think.
And then just finally, if you had to sum up British wrestling in a sentence or a few words, what would that be?
In a sentence or a few words. Hard work, but rewarding, I think would be the right way to say it, yeah.
I think it could be kind of classed as this new hipster cool thing to be involved with.
British wrestling to me, it's the hotbed of professional wrestling, because we've always had that original catch as catch can style. We've had the British style. We're now obviously Americanised to a degree. The Japanese style, all that's started to come over, the strong style as they call it. So we're basically a mix of it all, and we keep evolving. Whereas America, WWE, they don't evolve to a degree, and yeah, it's the constant evolution of British wrestling that keeps fans interested.
The next few years are going to be important for British professional wrestling as it looks to continue to grow. But with the increasing number of British wrestling talent and promotions, it'll just be a matter of time before British wrestling takes over the world.
You are your winner.